What lies beyond death? What happens after we die? This question has fascinated humanity for centuries, with religions, philosophies, and scientific theories attempting to explain the mystery of the afterlife. While some believe that death is the end, others think it is just a doorway to another existence. Among the countless spiritual texts that explore this subject, the Tibetan Book of the Dead stands out as one of the most detailed and mysterious guides to the afterlife. This ancient book, known in Tibetan as Bardo Thödol, provides a step-by-step map of what happens to the soul after death, describing visions, encounters, and choices that determine our fate beyond this life. Is it possible that death is not the end, but a transition into another realm? Could it be that our consciousness continues beyond the physical body? Today, we explore the incredible wisdom of this ancient text and what it reveals about the greatest mystery of all: death. A guide for the journey after death. Unlike other religious texts that focus on moral judgment or divine punishment, the Tibetan Book of the Dead describes death as a process, one that every soul must pass through. According to this text, the moment of death is not the end of existence, but the beginning of a new and profound journey through various states of consciousness known as bardos. The book was traditionally read aloud to the dying to help them navigate the afterlife, serving as a spiritual guidebook that instructs the soul on how to recognize and overcome illusions, avoid fear, and ultimately achieve enlightenment. But who wrote this mysterious book, and how did it come to exist? The origins of the Tibetan Book of the Dead. The text is believed to have been written in the 8th century by Padmasambhava, a powerful Buddhist master who introduced Tantric Buddhism to Tibet. More than just a monk, he was considered a mystic and a magician, possessing deep knowledge of the nature of the mind and reality itself. According to legend, Padmasambhava realized that the world was not yet ready for the knowledge contained in the book, so he hid it in sacred caves to be discovered centuries later. The text was finally revealed and became a central part of Tibetan Buddhist teachings on life, death, and rebirth. Padmasambhava believed that death was not something to be feared, but rather a unique opportunity for liberation. If one could understand and navigate the bardos properly, they could escape the endless cycle of rebirth known as samsara and attain enlightenment. The 3 stages of the afterlife. The Tibetan Book of the Dead describes 3 major bardos that every soul must pass through after death. Each stage presents a different challenge and an opportunity for enlightenment or rebirth. 1. Chikai Bardo, the moment of death. As soon as a person dies, their consciousness is released from the body and enters a state of complete clarity. At this moment, the soul encounters a bright white light, which is the pure essence of reality itself. If the soul recognizes and embraces this light, it can achieve instant liberation, merging with the ultimate truth and escaping the cycle of rebirth. However, most souls are not prepared for this experience. The intensity of the light frightens them, and they turn away, leading them into the second bardo. 2. Chonyid Bardo, the realm of visions and illusions. This stage is the realm of projections, where the soul experiences visions of deities, peaceful figures, and terrifying monsters. These visions are not external beings, but manifestations of the soul's own mind, representing its fears, desires, and karma. If the soul remains calm and recognizes these illusions, it can attain enlightenment even at this stage. However, if the soul reacts with fear or attachment, it becomes trapped in these visions, moving further away from liberation. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychologist, believed that the Tibetan Book of the Dead was a powerful exploration of the human unconscious. He compared the beings in Chonyid Bardo to archetypes, deep, universal symbols that shape our dreams and fears. 3. Sidpa Bardo, the path to rebirth. In the final stage, the soul begins seeking a new body based on its past karma and desires. Visions of parents in union appear, symbolizing the soul's pull toward rebirth. At this moment, the soul is given one last chance to resist rebirth and achieve enlightenment. If it fails, It enters a new body and is born into a new life, continuing the cycle of samsara. According to Tibetan Buddhism, the type of life we are born into depends on our past actions, thoughts, and emotional attachments. A person who lived with kindness and wisdom might be reborn into a favorable life, while one who was driven by greed and hatred may face greater suffering in the next existence. However, true freedom lies in escaping the cycle of rebirth altogether, a goal that can only be achieved through deep spiritual awareness. What does this teach us about life? Although the Tibetan Book of the Dead is a guide for the afterlife, its lessons are deeply relevant to the living. It teaches us that death is not an end, but a transition, a journey into a new state of being. The mind creates reality, even after death. What we experience is a reflection of our thoughts, fears, and attachments. Fear keeps us trapped in illusions. The more we resist, the more we suffer. Awareness is the key to liberation. By understanding the nature of reality, we can break free from suffering and illusion. This ancient text suggests that the way we live directly shapes our experience of death. If we prepare our minds, let go of attachments, and cultivate wisdom, we can face death with peace and clarity. In other words, understanding death helps us live better lives. Are we prepared for the final journey? Death is inevitable, yet it remains one of the greatest fears of humanity. The Tibetan Book of the Dead offers a radically different perspective, one that sees death as an opportunity rather than an ending. Perhaps by studying these teachings, we can not only prepare for our own death, but also learn to live with greater meaning, presence, and wisdom. So, when the moment comes and we face the unknown, will we recognize the clear light? Or will we be lost in our illusions, trapped in the cycle of rebirth? That is a question only we can answer.